The movie kicks off with an excited mother-daughter duo named Katie and Lisa as they are crafting new clothes for baby Ricky, who has magically developed wings on his back. Their plan work and Ricky is more than comfortable in his new clothes, spreading his wings delightfully. The scenes shift back to 1 year before baby Ricky entered the scene. Katie was hustling as a factory warrior living in a welfare crib with her little champ, Lisa. Bright and early, Lisa was the household commander, whipping up her morning milk and rousing her mama from the daily grind slumber. Together, they'd tackle breakfast battles and set off for their respective battlegrounds, work and school. The school drop-off routine seemed like clockwork until Katie clocked Paco, a new worker who joined the same factory. Cue the dramatic music, folks, because Paco's got his eyes on our Katie. Sparks flow like a lighter igniting a cigarette, and before you know it, a bathroom rendezvous is on the menu. Katie's heart might have been in a whirlwind, but her duties got lost in the storm. She arrived late to fetch Lisa that day, shaking up the delicate balance they'd worked so hard to maintain. The sun rises on another day, and guess who's back in the spotlight? It's Katie and Paco. Round 2. This time, Paco asks Katie for a date. Katie, starved for some good company after what feels like a century, practically does a happy dance and eagerly says yes. The scene shifts to a cozy restaurant where Paco dives into detective mode, quizzing Katie about the missing piece of her puzzle, Lisa's father. Katie reveals that he left because he didn't want Katie to have Lisa. Cut to the morning after, and Paco somehow scored an invitation to the breakfast club at Katie's place. Lisa, half shocked and half suspicious, retreats to her room, leaving Katie to play diplomat. Guess what, honey? Paco's moving in. And just like that, life's plot takes a sharp turn. School bus service becomes Lisa's golden ticket to freedom, and Katie's lovey-dovey escapades with Paco are in full swing. Fast forward a year, and voila, there's a new addition in town. Ricky, the tiny bundle of chaos and cuteness. But hold on, not everyone's clinking glasses. When they get home, they are surprised by Paco, who has turned Lisa's room into a nursery for Ricky. This is when Lisa realizes her heart's in a twist as Ricky's stealing the spotlight, and Lisa feels like a forgotten character in her own story. Simultaneously, Paco's family role undergoes a transformation as he starts arriving home progressively late. The warmth that once defined their family unit starts to dwindle. An argument erupts between Paco and Katie due to his altered behavior, but Paco's response is indifference, disregarding her concerns. That night, before they go to bed, they mend their rift, vowing to uphold their duties and be there for one another. In due course, Katie resumes her job, and Paco takes on night shifts to care for Ricky throughout the day. However, a troubling pattern emerges when Katie returns home from work one evening and spots a bruise marring Ricky's tender skin. Accusations fly as Katie confronts Paco, firmly convinced he's responsible for their son's suffering. Paco vehemently denies any wrongdoing, yet the bruises persist each day, etching away at Katie's peace. As Ricky's cries grow more unrelenting, Katie's apprehension deepens, solidifying her belief that Paco is the source of their son's pain. Tensions escalate when Paco returns from his shift and Katie confronts him again. Paco attempts to clarify his innocence, but Katie's trust has been eroded, casting a shadow of doubt. Their emotions churn with frustration and helplessness, and in a heart-wrenching moment of decision, Paco makes a painful choice. He walks away from their home. With Paco absent, Lisa takes on the responsibility of caring for her baby brother while Katie heads off to work. On one particular day, when Katie returns home from her job, an unsettling discovery awaits her. Ricky is not in his crib. Panic sets in as Lisa and Katie frantically search for him, only to find him perched atop the closet. Shocked by the sight, their attempts to retrieve Ricky go awry, resulting in an unexpected tumble to the floor. Astonishing, Ricky defies gravity and hovers mid-air, saving himself from harm. They observe two delicate wings emerging from his back. In a tender moment, Katie, with Lisa's assistance, bathes Ricky, carefully cleansing his wings of the blood. Afterwards, they return Ricky to his crib, taking precautions by enclosing him within a makeshift cage, securing the top to prevent any mishaps. Fearing the consequences, Katie cautions Lisa against discussing Ricky with anyone at her school. Over the course of a week, Ricky's spirits lift, and he begins to sleep soundly once more. His wings gradually stretch to a length of 17 centimeters, prompting Katie to craft clothes that accommodate his new appendages. Ricky tries his new clothes on and attempts to fly on the sofa, and it goes pretty smooth this time because he can fully spread his wings through his new clothes. As time progresses, Ricky's wings blossom, covered in fully developed feathers, and his flying abilities improve. Recognizing the need for safety, Katie decides to purchase a helmet and knee pads for Ricky, ensuring his protection as he learns to navigate his newfound gift. At school, Lisa spots Paco waiting for her, but his inquiry about Katie and Ricky is met with Lisa's reluctance to engage. Paco offers to give her a ride home, but Lisa opts for the bus. Back home, Lisa attempts to broach the topic of Paco with Katie, but her words are cut short as Katie diverts the conversation, focusing on Ricky's improving condition. Unexpectedly, fortune smiles upon them when Katie wins a substantial 2,000 euros in a lottery. The windfall ignites a plan for a Christmas shopping spree to celebrate their newfound luck. Inside the bustling store, the excitement of shopping distracts Katie and Lisa, allowing Ricky to slip away unnoticed. What unfolds next is a surreal spectacle, the sight of a baby flying, adorned with delicate wings, simultaneously horrifies and captivates onlookers. Amidst gasps and murmurs, phones are drawn to capture the extraordinary scene. In a desperate chase, Katie and Lisa race after Ricky, but their efforts prove futile. The crowd grows and store employees mobilize, setting up ladders to capture the airborne baby. As Ricky is safely recovered, Katie realizes the undeniable truth. Her son's unique abilities have thrust them into the spotlight, and their lives will never be the same. At the hospital, Dr. Bernard probes into Ricky's extraordinary talents. He proposes to keep Ricky in the hospital for extensive tests, providing a spacious environment for him to fully explore his capabilities. Though tempted by the potential answers, Katie staunchly refuses, opting to take her child back home. As they leave the hospital, a throng of media representatives descends upon Katie, their cameras capturing her every move. The overwhelming attention triggers Katie's worry for Ricky's well-being, pushing her to lock herself and her children away from the outside world. On a particularly restless day, Ricky's cries echo from his crib, prompting Lisa to release him to the skies for solace. As Katie showers, a doorbell rings, and Lisa opens the door to reveal Paco. He steps inside, inquiring about Katie and Ricky. Katie emerges from the bathroom, and she requests a moment alone with Paco. As they converse, Paco expresses remorse for his past actions, and Katie apologizes for wrongly accusing him of harming Ricky. So, forgiveness takes root, and their connection rekindles. Paco reveals that he's heard about Ricky's unique condition and would like to see him. However, a poignant encounter between Paco and his son unfolds differently than expected. Upon seeing his father, Ricky is consumed by fear and takes flight. Despite their efforts, Ricky remains aloft, his terror palpable in the air. Ultimately, Katie manages to coax him down, but tension lingers as Paco suggests that Katie's apartment might not be suitable for Ricky. This sparks a heated exchange, driven by Katie's determination to keep her son close and protect their bond. As the commotion subsides, they notice Ricky's injuries, the result of his struggle to escape. Fearing for his well-being, they promptly summon Dr. Bernard. He tends to Ricky's wounds and presents them with an X-ray of Ricky's back, explaining that surgical removal of his wings is an option, but it could be painful for Ricky and may even lead to his death. However, Katie's instinctual love surges, dismissing the idea of subjecting her baby to such an ordeal. Later that night, as Ricky slumbers peacefully in his crib, Lisa contemplates a drastic action, cutting off his wings with a pair of scissors. But before she can carry out her plan, Paco enters and she retreats to her bed. Paco leans over his son, planting a gentle kiss on his forehead before tenderly covering him. Morning arrives, and Paco proposes a controversial idea to Katie to allow the media to create a documentary about their extraordinary son in exchange for a substantial sum of money. He contends that this would provide them with the resources needed for Ricky's care. However, Katie is skeptical of Paco's motives, accusing him of profiting from their son's uniqueness. Paco asserts that his intentions are solely rooted in securing a better life for their child. He recalls Katie's past accusations against him, insisting that she's now repeating the same mistake. Slowly, Katie's resistance begins to crumble, and she reluctantly agrees to the documentary. The subsequent day, Paco orchestrates a gathering of media representatives outside Katie's apartment, excitement. Paco and Katie playing the role of a harmonious family present Ricky to the intrigued audience. A string is attached to Ricky's foot, allowing him to take flight in a breathtaking display. Ricky soars through the air, astonishing everyone, and his mother's exhilaration is palpable. In a moment of elation, Katie accidentally releases the string, granting Ricky the freedom to soar. He takes flight, leaving the crowd in awe, and with an audacious burst of courage, Ricky embarks on a journey across the lake and into the woods, disappearing from view. Over time, the initial fervor dwindles, and the media's interest wanes. The crowd disperses, yet Katie remains, rooted in place, an unwavering sentinel. As the hours stretch on and the world moves forward, Katie's steadfast vigil continues. After a stretch of time, Dr. Bernard joins the somber trio. He speculates that Ricky may have encountered danger, been shot by a hunter, or will face starvation in the depths of the woods. Paco shoulders the weight of responsibility, blaming himself for the outcome, convinced that Katie may never forgive him. In the ensuing days, Katie, Lisa, and Paco share flyers of their missing child, yet silence echoes back. Weeks blend into weeks, and it seems the world has moved on except for Katie. She clings to her vigil, stationed beside her apartment window, a testament to a mother's unwavering devotion. One day, Katie's footsteps lead her to the tranquil expanse of the lake. Overwhelmed by grief, she contemplates ending her pain, surrendering to the depths beneath her. In that heart-wrenching moment, a familiar voice pierces through the silence. Ricky's joyful laughter. Startled, Katie looks up and there he is, her son standing before her with tear-filled eyes. Katie rushes to embrace him, her words a mixture of apologies and love. As their gaze lingers, Katie realizes that Ricky wears a different kind of happiness, one that perhaps he couldn't find in their apartment. A difficult decision weighs on her heart, and with a heavy sigh, she releases Ricky to the skies once more. After this, Ricky takes the flight, soaring into the vast expanse with newfound freedom. Katie returns home, enveloping Paco and Lisa in a warm embrace, their bond reaffirmed through shared trials. Life returns to a semblance of normalcy as Lisa attends school, finally accepting and enjoying Paco's fatherly presence, and Paco resumes work to provide for their family. And in a heartwarming finale, we witness Katie's radiant smile, cradling new life within her, a promise of hope and renewal. Do you think there is another baby with wings on the way? And if that's the case, would the baby enjoy a normal life like Lisa or follow his lost brother in the woods? Let us know your creative thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to browse through our amazing collection of movie recaps. Thanks for watching Boss Recaps.